welcome back to the last segment of Sex, Brains, and Money. I am your host, Nikki Thomas, and my co-host, Little Bonbon the puppy, is still sleeping. I whistled at her and tried to beckon her over back to the stage, and she just sort of put her head back down on the ground. So I don't think that she's in the mood to be on camera again. I guess she gets a little bit tired of all the attention. But it's funny because we just took her to Niagara Falls on the weekend, and even though we were standing next to one of the 7 natural wonders of the world, the only thing anyone was taking pictures of was our puppy. So I guess people have different priorities. Now's the time when I'm going to read out a couple of the tweets that have been sent to us. And there's one here from DataTech, which says, ask your Minister of Women what it means, and then follows up by saying, do you know anyone who voted for Harper, hence his ministers? Do you talk to them? Well, let's go with that first question. Ask your Minister of Women what it means. Rona Ambrose has not spoken on the subject, with the exception of the very short tweet that she sent out, claiming that the only reason she supported Motion 312 was because of her opposition to sex selective abortion. And until she actually takes the public stage once again and speaks to her reasoning and talks a little bit more in detail, we really have no idea of knowing exactly what she meant. Now, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, there's going to be another motion put forth by another conservative backbencher next week that would specifically seek to limit sex selective abortion. And hopefully, Minister Ambrose will take the floor and explain in much more detail what her position is. But like I said earlier in the show, the only true alternative to sex selective abortion would be sex selective infanticide, and that's something that nobody wants to see. If you want to know my full opinion on the matter, you can visit my blog and read the first post that I said about Motion 312. But the truth is, nobody likes abortion, okay? Nobody in their right mind would ever say that abortion is a good thing. The only thing that abortion is a less bad thing. It's a preferable option to provide a legal and safe abortion than forcing somebody to go into a back alley and get a coat hanger abortion. It's a preferable option to abort a child than it is to have an unwanted child. And all it comes down to is making the choice between something that's potentially bad and potentially worse. The physiological consequences, the psychological consequences, the potential for trauma that accompany abortion are significant, to be sure. And it's not something that anyone ever does just for the fun of it. It's a really difficult choice for anybody that has to make it. But the choice should be hers and hers alone. So I'm going to stop pontificating now about this because it's really not something that I want to get into a huge debate about. But as long as this is going on in the House of Commons, until we come to some sort of resolution where we just say, regardless of the situation, the final choice should remain with the woman who's going to be most affected by the policy, until we get to that point, we're just going to be beating our heads against a telephone pole. So that's all I've got for today. We'll be coming back in a couple of weeks with a full episode of Sex, Brains, and Money, including the brain segment. But thank you again for tuning in. If you're interested in contacting me with your thoughts, you can reach me at nikki@alltalktv.com, or if you want to know my thoughts more in detail, of course, my blog is www.msnikkithomas.com. Thanks again for tuning in. Thank you so much to our producer, David Grossman, and creative director, Lior Kananov. We'll be back in a couple of weeks. Take care.